Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference showdown between the visiting Colorado School of Mines and the host UCCS Mountain Lions. Alongside Jake Ross, I'm Jason Carter. And Jake, the Mountain Lion ladies with a tall mountain to climb tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming in for the Ore Diggers, only lost 2 games on their season. Luckily for the Mountain Lions, one of those losses was last night against the Regis Rangers. The first before that was way earlier in the season against Nebraska Kearney, which is also a good team, ranked 19th in the nation. So they could be sputtering a little bit, but that second loss could also give the Ore Diggers that much more motivation, so it's definitely going to be a tough night for UCCS.
And the Mountain Lions have been playing some pretty good basketball the last handful of weeks, maybe outside of last night, not their most solid game, but potentially looking forward ahead to tonight's game a little bit. The Mountain Lions, though, leading up to this last night's contest, had actually been playing some pretty solid ball.
Yeah, and it all starts with Mason White. We talked about her last night. Kind of had a tough outing. Got a lot of attention defensively underneath the basket, but for UCCS, it runs through her. So she's got to get started early and often, and that will lead to success for UCCS.
All right, let's take a look at these starting lineups first for the number 9 nationally ranked Ore Diggers. They will go with Ashley Stefik, Jessica Rios, Josephine Howry, Sammy Van Sickle, and Megan Vandegraff. Those last 2 in particular have been absolute thorns in the sides of opponents all season. The Mountain Lions are going to go with a very similar lineup to what they did last night, with just one major change. The 4 same players will be Gracie Hanneborg, Bree Robinson, Sydney Nillis, and Mason White. The one change will be Agar Ferris in the starting 5. So a little bit more size for the Mountain Lions in this starting lineup, as Colorado School of Mines, they don't have a single starter under 5'7", and they start a couple over 6 feet tall. So that's definitely something the Mountain Lions may have some issues with as this game progresses. We'll see how that works out for them. Yeah, Colorado School of Mines, the second best rebounding team in the conference at over 40 a game as they win the opening tip. Van Sickle won it for the Diggers. And we're going to get an instant turnover on Colorado School of Mines as Rios is called for a travel.
This is what we talked about last night for UCCS. You're going to get those turnovers, but you have to capitalize on the other end.
And that's exactly what they do there, as Mason White gets the first one to drop. Good to see after a rough shooting night for her last night.
Yeah, and especially on the turnovers as well. You saw UCCS get those turnovers and try and stretch the floor, and it just wasn't falling in for them on the other end. So hopefully that will give them an early spark.
A missed 3, but an offensive rebound for Mines. And it'll stay with the Diggers.
And even though you get that kind of loose ball situation there, it does stay with Colorado School of Mines. For the Mountain Lions, though, that's good. It disrupts the rhythm. And for Mines on the other side of that, they kind of look a little disjointed here early. They have to start playing off of each other.
And the shot goes up just in time, but it's off the mark, and the Mountain Lions have the board. UCCS in their gray tops, well, all gray unis, up against the dark blue of Mines. And we're going to get a travel called on the other side. Sydney Nillis moved her pivot foot.
Yeah, that one was pretty obvious. Took that one extra step and just kind of thinking one step ahead was Nillis there, was looking for the extra pass and kind of absent-mindedly moved her feet last minute.
A weave up top beyond the three-point arc. Here's Howry behind the back, into the lane. Nice shot by Josephine. Gets a friendly hometown bounce as Howry from right here in Colorado Springs. Nice.
Catch.
Oh, Mason White, that's a really good sign because she had some of those plays early yesterday and the ball just was not falling for her.
Yeah, and even just 2 minutes into the game at this point last night, she had a couple of those nice passes in underneath, and she just couldn't really handle them. One she kind of kicked away, causing a turnover, and so good to see her kind of get back into the swing of things.
Gracie Hannibal came and applied some pressure on Van Sickle around midcourt and was able to force a jump ball, so UCCS will retake possession. And then we've got a push by Rios along the sideline. So the first foul of the game for either team, Rios picked it up right in front of her own bench, and now the Mountain Lions with 21 on the shot clock. Get it in the back court.
These situations always interested to see, especially early in the game when you have something come to the sideline like that. It gives you an early chance to kind of run one of your set plays, and it really shows whether you have effectively prepared offensively and defensively for your opponent.
Gracie Hanneborg will head to the free throw line as Stefik picks up a foul. And an early substitution for the Diggers as Jenna Siebert makes her first appearance. And front rim, back rim, and in for Hanneborg. Gracie lines up the second. And that is also good. So the Mountain Lions off to a good start as they apply the full court press. And Bree Robinson, she could be a difference maker because she loves this press. And if she can get in the face of the Mines guards throughout the course of the night, maybe she could cause some disruption.
Yeah, she's one of the biggest anticipators on the Mountain Lion squad. And you see it here from Nillis as well as she jumps in front of that one, just reading the pass before it's made.
And Hanneborg will head back to the free throw line. Good find from Nillis cross court to Gracie, and now she will head back to the charity stripe where she just hit 2. Good start from Hanneborg from the free throw line. And Gracie is 4-4 early on. Another substitution for Mines as Ashley Van Sickle comes in.
Well, that's a good start for UCCS from the free throw line. Just about 60% as a team on their season from the charity stripe. So it's important for them to start to get those free throws to drop in early.
Wow, great pass. Shot, however, missed. It was a good find. The shot was left short, though, and the Mountain Lions are running. And Gracie Hanneborg, the sophomore, showing off all of the skills as she gets all the way to the rim.
Yeah, and she's taken over here early, and it looks like a little bit of a flip script that we talked about from last night. Good play there from Mines, throwing it off of Mason White's feet. But we talked about it for the Mountain Lions last night. They just didn't really seem to have it. And early in this one, it kind of seems like the Ore Diggers are in that same boat. They're making good plays, but they just can't get their shots to fall in.
Into the corner, Van Sickle. Her toes just beyond the arc, but she missed it. Bree Robinson, the rebound on the weak side.
A perfect example there. Wide open look from the corner, and they just can't bury it.
Robinson tried to hit one. Couldn't. Loose ball. We're going to get a foul called on White. Both players were on the deck, but they're going to call Mason for the foul as we have some more substitutions. Jessica Nation checking in for UCCS, while Laura Lee Stock and Shelby Nichols are in for the Ore Diggers. Wide open, great extra bounce pass, but missed shot again. Offensive rebound, and Van Sickle gets the offensive board and put back.
Yeah, nothing's easy for Colorado School of Mines, even on the putback shot, which is a good play. Rolled around, almost came back out. Finally, they got some points to fall.
Hannah Borg, another great take by Gracie. Hannah Borg and White, all 12 of the Mountain Lions points here early on. Floater off glass. Great shot there from Siebert as she gets into the lane.
Yeah, the Mountain Lions left a little bit of an opening there down on the far side of the lane, and Siebert saw that open up, took her space. Nice shot as well.
Nation took one dribble and then picked it up, looking for some help, finds Hannah Borg. And Gracie, that's her first missed shot, but it was another great take. It'll stay with the Mountain Lions. More substitutions. Suni Davis and Howery back in for Mines.
Yeah, and Mines likes to cycle their players through on the bench as well. They have a really short roster. I mean, you're allowed 15 active for a game. They only have 13 on their roster as a whole. So they're going to have to cycle them through to make sure everybody gets proper rest.
And Alexa Dominguez checked in for the first time for UCCS as White missed that shot there. Van Sickle, 3-ball, no good. Nation fighting for the rebound, comes down with it. Jessica Nation lost her headband and tore it off and threw it off to the sideline and then finishes with the lefty.
Little odd seeing Jessica Nation out there with no headband. She's always got it on there, but that was multitasking from her.
Take all the way to the rim and a finish from Stock.
Now you see Colorado School of Mines start to pick up the pace a little bit. UCCS can go cold for periods of time on offense. Colorado School of Mines doesn't typically have that same problem, so it's all about keeping pace now for the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, one of the top scoring teams in the entire country is Colorado School of Mines, so you know you probably won't be able to slow them down for too long as that one's poked out of bounds. And that'll bring us to the media timeout. The Mountain Lions off to a great start as they've got a 6-point lead early. So Jake, through the first just about 6 minutes, Mountain Lions couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah, and it's all thanks to Gracie Hanneborg. I mean, she was just taking over there for the first 4 minutes or so, 8 points already. We talked about Mason White as well getting going, a couple points from Jessica Nation, and they're keeping things going already here early.
And then Hanneborg comes down with it, got it to Dominguez, who will head to the free throw line.
Dominguez, not the greatest free throw shooter for UCCS, just 33.3% on her season so far, but these are important early in this game.
It's a pretty good shot for a 33% free throw shooter. Dominguez smooth on the first one.
Yeah, and that wasn't unusual happening for the beginning of the season. Dominguez, who has had a lot more playing time than she has in the past this year, so good to see her start to get those to fall in.
Oh, splitting the defense and then trying to drop it off. Looked like it went off somebody's foot, but they're going to keep the play going, and Howery is fouled by Alexa.
Yeah, and head coach of the Orediggers, Brittany Simpson, kind of had her hands up like, how is that not a kicking violation when it went off? I believe that was...
It looked like Nellis's foot is who it looked like. And then a block by Hannah Borg. She is doing a little bit of everything right now.
Yeah, she's just kind of honing missile out there, looking for the ball, and is all over the floor.
Van Sickle's shot is no good. Howery the rebound, and then triple teamed, and the Mountain Lions come away with it.
There was 6 Mountain Lion hands up in the air around that shot. Somebody's going to get credit for the block, but there were so many hands in there, it was hard to tell who.
And then Nillis with a 3 on the other end. Gaia Zimbardo did check in for the Mountain Lions in that last timeout, so seeing her first action in quite a while, the freshman from Italy. That shot, front rim and out, and the Orediggers are cold here to start as they are shooting under 30%.
Yeah, and for Colorado School of Mines, which is such a prolific scoring team, nice cut underneath by the Dominguez. You got to keep your confidence about you because obviously this is not the norm for a team like this, so don't kind of let doubt creep into your mind. You have to stay after it or else things are just going to get worse.
Great job there from Dominguez. She gets the bucket and will have 1 free throw as the lead is double figures for the Mountain Lions. And Alexa, 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. Bree Robinson tried to come from behind and couldn't run down Van Sickle. Now into the lane, scoop, and heading to the charity stripe will be Stefik.
Yeah, they're going to get Zimbardo on this one. And she was there originally, but right at the last second kind of shifted her weight a little bit, and that causes the blocking call. You have to stand still once you establish your position underneath.
Stefik, senior from Fort Collins. That just shows you how this is going. She is an 88% free throw shooter, number 1 in the conference, and she misses the first one off the back rim. Second one, however, smooth. Good job by Nillis to avoid the sideline there. Nation has her headband back on. Working on Van Sickle. Nation from the elbow. No good.
That was a nice return pass.
Nicely job by Nillis there to step in, take it away, and finish the reverse layup.
Kind of a little bit of a granny shot from behind like that. It looked like she just kind of scooped it over her head as Robinson was fooled on that move, but nice basket.
Van Sickle for 3, in and out. Nation brings it down.
This is very unusual for Colorado School of Mines. They cannot buy a basket.
On the other hand, the Mountain Lions on fire as Robinson hits a 3 and forces Colorado School of Mines to take a timeout. We'll do the same. UCCS up by 18.
beat.
UCCS shooting 64% from the field as they have tripled up Colorado School of Mines at the moment.
And UCCS has just been on fire from the field at this point. And Colorado School of Mines, you can't, if you're UCCS, you have to stay on the gas because they can score in bunches. And if they get the ball rolling, it's not going to be very hard for them to erase the lead.
And there's a nice move down low by Stefik as she worked her way around her defender. "60 seconds to go. Robinson into the lane. Floater, no good. Rebound. Ripped down by Nichols. And then the quick outlet pass, Van Sickle to Van Sickle. And Ashley doesn't get it to fall.
Good communication there underneath by the Mountain Lions. Forrest and Zimbardo both came down with the rebound. You don't want to compete with your own teammate for it, and they were able to work it out.
There's Forrest, under 30 seconds to go. Great feed, Zimbardo! However, Van Sickle came over quickly and got in front, but the Mountain Lions may be asking if she was inside the circle. Curious if they're going to get a review of the play. It doesn't look like they are, so it'll be an offensive foul on Zimbardo, her second.
Yeah, it was kind of right on the edge of that restricted area underneath the basket, but credit to Van Sickle, quick thinking to slide in.
And then Sammy Van Sickle on the other end puts in two more. Nillis isn't going to be able to throw it up, and that'll do it. But the Mountain Lions truly could not have asked for a better start as they have a 27-13 lead over the number 9 team in the country. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. So Jake, the Mountain Lions really put together a great first 10 minutes. Let's take a look at a couple of the highlights from that first quarter. As you want to take us through, Gracie Hanneborg in particular, I imagine is going to be a big part of these highlights.
Yeah, and you see her early there, was a big part of that early run for UCCS, the three from Nillis, and just great ball movement overall for UCCS. Nillis with that behind the back. I'm still kind of in awe of that shot. She couldn't even see the rim. And then Robinson with the three ball there as well. Just unusual faces getting going here early for UCCS, and with the number 9 team in the land here in Gallogly tonight, that's exactly what they needed.
So let's see if the Mountain Lions can, as you said, keep the foot on the gas, as that one is dribbled off the foot of Stefik and out of bounds. So back to the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, just again a little disjointed thus far for Colorado School of Mines. Ashley Stefik is the leading scorer for this team, averaging 12.5 points a game. Not usual for her to make mistakes like that, just dribbling off her foot out of bounds for a turnover.
And a jump ball, possession arrow to Mines. Although the officials are pointing the other direction. The arrow on the board says the Diggers, but the officials are pointing to UCCS.
Yeah, I think the arrow down on the floor has the Mountain Lions, so that's the one that matters. It's right in front of the official score, not the one that's up on the big board. But it does up there say Colorado School of Mines, so a little bit of confusion.
Should be updated correctly now, as UCCS didn't get that last possession. They tried to work it into White, and it was poked away. Lob pass. Ferris tried to go right up, but it's poked away. Howry on the break, drops it off. Layup miss. Howry had the board, but Dominguez rips it away and heads the other direction. She does not have numbers, though, so she slows it up. Hanneborg into the lane. Gracie, scoop, no good. And they're going to get Mason White for an over the back.
I'm going to give some credit to Gracie Hanneborg going back there defensively. It looked kind of harmless as she went flying by into the padding underneath the basket, but just that extra moment of needing to hold the shot is what could disrupt the layup.
Seven seconds on the shot clock. Stefik gets it over to Howry, who puts up a quick three. No good. Rebound on the weak side, punched out to Robinson. Bree didn't have numbers again, so she'll get it back out to Faris.
Yeah, smart play there by Bree Robinson. First coming across and taking that bouncing ball in stride to give her the opportunity to take it straight if she wanted. But then she saw that Mayans was quick to get back, smartly pulled up. It did get poked out of bounds, but the Mountain Lions retain possession.
White in the corner, great feed down low. Hanneborg picks up the loose ball and finishes. She's the first player in double figures with 10.
That was a sharp angle right underneath the basket, and that just shows how hot Gracie Hanneborg has been tonight.
And White, I think, got a hand on that shot from Howry and rejects it. So again, the Mountain Lions the other direction. Down low to Mason, and White doing it on both ends, finishes it off.
And that was an impressive catch underneath. Good pass by Robinson to get it to her, but an even better play. Kind of sticky hands, it looked like, for Mason White.
Wow, what a step around by Stefik. That was a pretty move.
Yeah, and that just shows her offensive prowess. She didn't even have to think about that, and that was textbook.
Another backdoor cut. Hanneborg will head to the free throw line again. Gracie playing a little possessed this evening, and just goes to show you what she's capable. We've seen it, you know, her season high, her career high, 24 points, so certainly capable of filling it up, and she's showing it tonight.
Yeah, and the energy between the players on the floor for UCCS is just electric right now. You saw the whistle for Gracie Hanneborg. Immediately, Alexa Dominguez came over, kind of helped her up, gave her a little pat, was yelling in her face like, come on, let's go. And you just don't see that on the other side for Colorado School of Mines right now. There's not a lot of excitement or spark among their players.
Hanneborg, after hitting her first 4 free throws, misses both of those. Talia DiPetrio is in the lineup for UCCS, and a long 3-ball off the mark. Rebound to White. We have a collision. Oh, and they're going to call it on DiPetrio. So Mines will retain possession. Still a 16-point lead for UCCS.
Heads up play there by Stefik, bouncing it off the Mountain Lion defender.
And she picks up a foul as she was trying to post up Faris, so they'll stay again with Mines underneath the basket. They quickly get it up top to Rios. And then Van Sickle resets the offense. Howry looking for a screen, goes again the other direction. Back out, Stefik stops, pops. No good, but she is fouled, and Forrest picks up another. So 2 quick fouls there for Agar.
Yeah, and for Agar, she just kind of was a little bit frantic on that possession, both underneath picking up the foul, and then out after the shot was already out and it was off the mark. So if she just stood her ground, it would have been an easy rebound for Mason White on the weak side, but just a little bit in her head on that possession was Agar Forrest.
Stefik had that free throw rim all the way around and out. Second one, however, drops in. Tried to get it down low, but Stefik there with a steal. The reigning RMAC Defensive Player of the Year is Ashley Stefik, and she's showing why theirs. She got her hands up in the passing lane. Howry with a 3-ball, good.
A little bit extra separation there, and Colorado School of Mines is a good three-point shooting team, so UCCS, when they have those opportunities to close the space, they need to be able to get up into the shooter.
Nation got her defender to fly by and then pulls up at the free throw line and knocks it in.
Yeah, those mid-range jumpers is bread and butter for Jessica Nation. Kind of got that extra stutter step to lose the defender. Good recovery defensively as well from Hanneborg, trying to get back from the double team.
Howry again from beyond the arc, and that's back-to-back threes for Josephine.
And this is kind of what we were talking about a few minutes ago, is once Colorado School of Mines gets those wheels turning, UCCS has to come up with some stops but keep things going on the offensive end.
That shot no good, comes flying in, loose ball, and Nation and Howry are going to jump it up, and this time it will go back to the Ore Diggers.
Yeah, and that was a nice play by Jessica Nation just to get the alternating possession at all. She had to go down to the floor and kind of secure that ball that was already being jumped on and not take the foul, which is the impressive part, is going down. That's a really aggressive move when somebody's laying below you and not fouling that individual.
Howry and the former St. Mary's Pirate is starting to take over.
Yeah, exactly what we saw from Gracie Hanneborg early. Now we see from Howry, and a travel is picking up her dribble.
Nation with the turnover, and the Colorado School of Mines has cut the deficit to single digits. Mountain Lions still up 33-24. We'll be back in a minute with more RMAC basketball. So the Colorado School of Mines has really picked it up. They're on an 11-2 run over the last 3 minutes and 4 seconds, led by Colorado Springs native St. Mary's High School grad Josephine Howry. Good defensive switch there between Dominguez and Hanneborg up top. And then a 3-ball from Van Sickle, facilitated off the assist from Howery.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump pick there and opened it up. And like we said, Colorado School Mines can really fill it up, and you can start to see that happening now.
Tammy Van Sickle picks up her second personal as Nation is replaced by Forrest. And Laura Lee Stock will replace Van Sickle for Mines. Hanneborg wide open, 3-ball is good.
That's a big basket for UCCS after giving up back-to-back triples on the other end and traveling, turning it over on their last time down. It was important to get points, and a 3 is the best you can do.
And a huge collision down low. And a block is going to be called on Forrest, and that is now her third. So Agar, who just checked in, will check right back out and be replaced by Inez Latapia.
Yeah, a tough go of it so far for Agar Forrest, and he's getting, or she, I should say, is getting some direction from Lynn Plett on the sideline. Just kind of have to stand your ground. Obviously, once you get underneath, you get that extra pressure that you want to get the shot blocked, but you have to be able to keep your wits about you.
Stock hits the first free throw, the second one up and also good. So the Ore Diggers have cut what was once an 18-point deficit all the way down to 7.
Mountain Lions have had good ball movement on the offensive side. Though thus far in this game, it's created some chances. Let's see how they can keep it rolling.
Skip past Latapia. Nice find there to Zimbardo. Her shot off the mark.
Yeah, it looked like she may get the bounce in, but again, good ball movement. Finds the open shooter with Zimbardo. Just can't get it to roll in.
Good job by Zimbardo that time to jump the passing lane. Now Latapia trying to push it. Drops it back off. Nillis, and a late whistle by the officials. I think the right call, but it was definitely a late whistle.
Yeah, just a little bit late getting down the floor was the official on the far side. It was pretty obvious that there was that extra kind of hitch, but a late whistle nonetheless, the right call.
Stock will head back to the free throw line as Latapia was unable to stop her pursuit.
And the Ore Diggers starting to pick back up and play on their terms. They're kind of pushing the pace, forcing the issue under the basket on UCCS. We saw that for the Mountain Lions in the first quarter early in the game, and now the script is starting to flip a little bit. So if you're UCCS, you have to kind of reclaim that power, and if you're the Ore Diggers, you have to keep taking what the Mountain Lions give you.
And the Ore Diggers, a 71% free throw shooting team, so they are very comfy at the free throw line as both of those are knocked down by Stock. And the Ore Diggers have outscored UCCS by 9 here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it's just a 2-possession game. If you're UCCS, you have to find a way to get points on this time down just to get a little bit momentum back for yourself.
Hanneborg had it stripped.
Going into a zone defense now is Colorado School of Mines.
Great job by the Mountain Lions, however. They quickly get it back up to Gracie, who can't finish the layup by herself. And we're going to get a foul on the floor. It's going to go against Stock as she was trying to get the rebound.
Still 2 fouls to give for Colorado School of Mines. Mountain Lions will keep it under the basket, 24 on the shot clock.
And Stock's going to pick up another one there as she couldn't stop her momentum and ran right into Nillis. So a couple of quick personals on Laura Lee Stock.
Yeah, same kind of situation that we saw with Agar Forrest on that possession a few moments ago for UCCS. 2 quick fouls.
And then nice offense, quick feed down low to Hanneborg, who was able to go up and pick up another foul. This one's going to be on Stefik. That's her second, and Gracie will head back to the free throw line. Ashley Van Sickle will come in to replace Stefik. Gracie made her first 4 and has now missed her last 3 free throws. 67% free throw shooter is Hanneborg. Another one here is up, and there we go. Got the roll on that one.
Good defense for UCCS there.
Stock with 6 on the shot clock, lost her dribble. Dominguez is going to push it, 3-on-2, kicks it out. Nillis stops from about 15, can't get it to fall. Rebound, however, down low, nicely done by Zimbardo, and she's going to head to the free throw line.
And Colorado School of Mines thinks that they got the ball, and I don't think the foul is getting called on the block, but that there's 2 hands before the jump, because it looked to us as well. I mean, that looked like a good clean block, but I think that it was the positioning before the jump that the foul was called on.
So that foul's on Stock. That's her 3rd. Zimbardo, the freshman from Italy. And the Colorado Mines coaching staff still talking to the official down there, but I think you're right. I think it was more body than ball because it looked very, very clean up at the top.
Yeah, and especially when you get a clear, clean block like that where your full outstretched hand is all over the orange ball, it's not going to be received very well when that whistle goes, but I agree that I do think it was the right call on the initial play before the jump.
Emily Hovas checked in for the first time for UCCS, and then we're going to get a foul down low on Zimbardo. That is Gaia's 3rd, so some foul trouble starting to creep in for the Mountain Lions as both Agar Faris and Gaia Zimbardo each have 3 personals. Howrate knocks down another one. She is the first oar digger in double figures. That is her 11th point.
Both teams into the penalty area now foul-wise, so the next time, or for the rest of this quarter, I should say, anytime we get a whistle, it's going to turn into free throws.
Hovas lets go of the 3 off the front rim, but a long board by Latapia.
That was a good screen to open up Hovas.
Great passing there from the Mountain Lions. One touch quickly from Hanneborg inside.
Yeah, we saw that a lot in the first quarter around the arc. First time we've really seen the tic-tac-toe underneath, but good one-touch drill for UCCS leads to the 2 points.
And we're going to get a kickball on Nillis on the outside.
Yeah, just kind of reactionary there from Nillis. Whenever it kind of juts by you, you want to kick something out to stop its progress.
Shot off the mark again, loose ball. Nillis is on the floor. It'll be another jump, and it'll stay with the Mountain Lions.
You want to use your clock here if you're UCCS. With the lead going into halftime, you want to milk as much of that time off as you can and limit the possession.
Latapia double teamed in the corner, threw it off of an oar digger, actually landed in the hands of Zimbardo, who kicks it out to Nillis for 3, and it's good. Sydney Nillis puts the lead back out to double figures.
And that just kind of shows how it's been going for UCCS. I mean, Inez Latapia was down and out. She was trying to throw it to get the out of bounds, and it just happened to go to Zimbardo, who found the open Nillis on the other end.
And then great job by Nillis to poke it out and then come diving in. That is Stock, and if I'm not mistaken, that is her fourth. It is indeed. And Gracie Hanneborg a little slow to get up as Stock went low after the ball and took out the lower half of Gracie Hanneborg. And Hanneborg limping a little bit. I mean, that's scary whether she's actually hurt or not. It's scary when you have someone going down around your knees. You know, you never want to see that. So hopefully Gracie is doing all right. 5.7 to go. They'll let her shoot the free throws.
Yeah, anytime you're dealing with the knees or below, obviously that wasn't a move by Stock on purpose to try and hurt Gracie Hanneborg, but it just lots more room for much less margin for error, we'll say, once you get down in that area. Good to see that Gracie Hanneborg is able to take her own free throws.
Well, and she is limping off. Yeah, she cannot put any pressure on what looks like her left knee.
They're going to help her off. Yeah, not a good sign for UCCS. Hanneborg's been a big part of this one so far.
.2 seconds to go for the Orediggers. Van Sickle's going to try and heave one up at half court. She does, off the back rim. So the Mountain Lions, about as good a 20 minutes as we've seen them play all season, have an 11-point lead over the number 9 team in the country. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that first half as we run down some of the stats for you. Mountain Lions, Hanneborg, who we just saw unfortunately limp off, leads all scorers with 14 points. She also has 4 boards and a couple of assists. Sydney Nillis put together a nice half with 8 points, and then some scoring from just about everybody. The Mountain Lions have 7 girls who have dropped in points.
Yeah, 4 steals for UCCS and 2 blocks from Mason White, and just disrupting things on the defensive end of the floor has been a big part of what has kept this lead from creeping back up for Colorado School of Mines.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll let you get something to wash down the excitement because it was an exciting first 20 minutes. Hopefully the final 20 will be just as good. When we come back, we will start the third quarter for you. Don't go too far.
Picking the right college is key. And with one-on-one attention and hands-on experience, UCCS fuels success.
I wanted more than a degree.
So with innovative courses and affordable tuition,
UCCS fuels success.
Apply today at uccs.edu.
The mountain lion can travel up to 370 miles. Located primarily in North America, these majestic creatures can traverse a large variety of terrain. There are, of course, some natural barriers. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
I really remember that because I was really excited and I was really scared, and it was really hard, saying goodbye to my family, and I think that was really scary for me, never leaving the state, being first generation and stuff. I didn't really know what to expect from my college experience.
The first thing that comes to mind when I think about what surprised me about living on campus is how open everyone was in the first couple of weeks to get to know other people. Me and a couple other people I'd met started playing volleyball in just an open field, and then within 20 minutes there were about 30 people in the circle all just hitting a volleyball around, and it's something that just showed me how open people were to meeting new people.
I had never had the opportunity, to ever share a room growing up and stuff, and so it just so happened that me and my roommate got along very, very well, and as well as our other suite mates.
So I'm a resident assistant in Summit Village, and that is essentially a student upperclassman who lives on the floor with the new year freshmen, sometimes upperclassmen, who kind of just guide them through their first year on campus. There are tons of different rooming options here on campus. The first one that we see most commonly is known as Summit Village, and we have privates in a suite, we have private bedrooms, private bathrooms, we have a double in a suite, we have triples in a suite, so there's tons of different options. Definitely when you are coming into college, there's so many different personality types, and so it's really important to find an area within housing that is best for you. So I personally really love having a private bedroom, private bathroom, but then I have some friends who really enjoy being able to have a more social aspect, and so they have a double bedroom with a living room. Different floors have different themes. Let's say you really are enjoying leadership. Well, we have a leadership floor. Let's say you're a criminal justice major or a nursing major. We also have floors for that. Education, once again, my favorite floor because I'm an education major. There's even non-education based ones such as Colorado Living, and they do a lot of things filtered around the community, like going out to garden with the gods and just getting experience about what does it mean to live in Colorado Springs.
For me, when I'm not in class or not studying in the library, I'm usually hanging out with friends in their rooms, watching TV, playing video games, different stuff like that, or we're going off campus, either hiking in the bluffs behind the school or exploring Colorado Springs.
We have 2 dining halls that we're available to us to eat at, and when we go there, they have so many different varieties of food, and you really can just taper it to your diet. So I have residents who are vegan, and they have no trouble finding food on campus. I have people with gluten allergies or who are lactose intolerant, and they have the availability to go to the dining hall and eat whatever they want because they are accommodated there. But then there's people like me who literally want cookies every single meal and can get them, along with french fries and pizza and pasta. So there's just always different options every time of the day.
In the dining halls, there's different sections that are in each of them, both at the lodge and over at the Roaring Fork. And no matter what you're feeling, depending on any time of day, there's going to be options there.
I think a lot of people think on-campus living, is supposed to be super studious, super, serious, but I think it can be a lot of fun when you make it that way.
I've met some of my closest friends from just living on the same floor.
The one thing about living on campus is that chances of you getting involved in something tend to be spontaneous. They're not always structured. So you meet people that you normally wouldn't talk to or you normally wouldn't have classes with, and you'll have that opportunity just to study together, go out to eat together. So it's just kind of limitless.
I wanted more than a degree. So with innovative courses and affordable tuition, UCCS fuels success.
Apply today at uccs.edu.
It only takes one. Imagine bridging the gap that keeps students from achieving their dreams. Imagine making the difference in the life of just one student, fueling his or her success and that of an entire community. It only takes one person. At UCCS, our students come from working families. They work multiple jobs. They're the first in their families. They overcome obstacles, and they want an education that will fuel their success and help them shape the world. It only takes one person willing to start a movement. UCCS students will change our collective future, but they need our help. Many fall through the cracks each year, their focus on schoolwork suffers from financial pressures. Together, we can fuel their success through a campaign that is essential to our community, our region, and all of Colorado. One gift can fuel success. With your help, our students will step into the classroom with a breadth of opportunity at their fingertips. Experiential learning, faculty who care, growing facilities to accommodate a changing workforce, and research that can change the world. But it starts with one.
One less sacrifice made.
One less night shift.
One less year to graduation.
One more chance to focus on what's important.
One more life-changing expert to learn from.
One more amazing professional ready to join my team.
One more reason to stay and work in the Pikes Peak region.
One more graduate of the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs.
Remarkable outcomes are possible when you invest even in one person, one student, one future. You can start the movement. You can be the agent of change, shattering expectations for families, communities, companies, cities, states, generations. Collectively, each one of us can change the trajectory of the future. Your one gift, joined with others, will make a difference that lasts generations. That's when the power of one becomes the power of many. That's the power of UCCS. You can be the power of one.
The mountain lion is one of the strongest members of the feline family. The average mountain lion lives 5 times a day and consumes up to 3 times its weight in protein. It shares many characteristics with its domestic counterparts, the good and the bad. UCCS. Find your inner mountain lion.
About 90 seconds to go here at halftime. The Mountain Lions holding on to a 44-33 advantage. And right there at the end of the half, we saw Mountain Lion Gracie Hannibor go down. And Jake, you have a little bit of an update on Gracie.
Yeah, and so it's that left ankle that they're looking at. She had her shoe off and went into the locker room with it off. They said that they thought that it could just be one of those stinger situations, that she could come back. They're going to leave it up to her depending on how the swelling goes. I don't see her back out from the locker room yet, but we'll keep an eye on it.
So we'll see if Gracie returns to the lineup. Obviously a big part of that first half for the Mountain Lions with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of assists as UCCS leads the 9th-ranked team in the country by double figures. Heading into the second half, if you're the Mountain Lions, what do you need to do? Because you know Colorado School of Mines did not just sit around on their hands in the locker room. They are trying to figure this out.
Yeah, and if you're UCCS, you just have to start exactly like you started the first half. You have to come out confidently, know that you've had the upper hand in this game for the most part. And, I mean, whatever UCCS has tried to this point has really worked. I mean, we saw Inez Latapia completely covered down below, tried to throw it out of bounds, and it ended up on a 3 on the other side of the court. So UCCS just relax, play your game, try whatever you think is going to work, because it has been thus far. And for Colorado School of Mines, on the other thing, you just have to trust your ability. You're 9th-ranked team in the country. You have to know that you have the ability to come back against a team like UCCS.
So first possession of the half will stay with the Mountain Lions. And the Ore Diggers are going to go full court. Looks like potentially the entire way, as that one is slapped out of bounds by Van Sickle. Forrest threw it in as she was falling out of bounds, ended up in the hands of White, and UCCS finally has an offensive possession started here. White looking for some help. Backdoor cut to Forrest, and she can't finish.
That was a nice pass into Forrest. Couldn't quite get it to go, but UCCS with good ball movement early now has to get a defensive stop to keep the momentum their way early in the second half.
Shot from the free throw line, no good, and Agar comes down with the board. Robinson double teamed, tried to get it back out to Ferris, who lost it out of bounds.
Mountain Lions just not quite on the same page there, and as Robinson went down, did have the outlet to Forrest. Forrest just couldn't quite handle the pass, ended up going out for the turnover.
You see the Ore Diggers, I think, strategy in the second half, and that's really pick up the pace on both sides of the ball as they've been hounding here the first minute on defense.
Yeah, and you saw that kind of towards the end of the first half as well, especially they went into more of that zone defense on UCCS, was up in the face of the shooters, even trying to double team a lot more if they could. If we get a foul here, it's going to go against UCCS.
It's going to go on Mason White, her third. I thought Mason had position down low, but they're going to say she hooked around the defender, which down low, lefty up and in from Vandegraff.
Yeah, Vandegraff made a nice little spin around move. Mason had already established her position and had to stay her ground to not take another foul, but UCCS, Agar Forrest in a little bit of foul trouble with 3 already, now Mason White as well.
Millis got around Van Sickle and picked up a foul on her. Oh, sorry, they're actually going to call that on Stefik. Van Sickle was the guard. I didn't even see Stefik in the play, but the free throw from Millis is good, and for Stefik, that's her third. So fouls starting to pile up on both sides. Stefik and Stock with 3 and 4 respectively for the Ore Diggers. The Mountain Lions, 3 players with 3 fouls, Zimbardo, White, and Faris. And Nillis knocks in both of them.
Yeah, good free throws from Sydney Nillis there. Important for UCCS, as we said, to pick their pace back up from where they left off at the end of the first half. And Colorado School of Mines, we started to say, was in that more aggressive defense towards the end of the first half, and that's what helped them cut that large lead of UCCS down to just a couple possessions. They need to get back to that aggressive defense.
Vandegraff again inside with the lefty finish. Her first 2 buckets of the game have come on the last 2 possessions. Faris went farther into the corner. Robinson tries to run it down, still loose. Dominguez quickly up to White. Mason can't finish the first. Faris finishes the second. One, Agar Faris.
Yeah, not a very good looking play from either team on that one. On a wing and a prayer as Faris was going out of bounds, just kind of hucked it to open space. UCCS able to wrestle it back. Nice job by Dominguez not only to get to that loose ball, but quickly get it into Mason White. Scrum underneath, and Faris gets the basket.
Free throw, no good. And Vandegraff having her way down low. White with the 3 fouls, trying not to pick up a 4th.
And that was good passing drill as well from Colorado School of Mines, keeping the ball moving and finding Vandegraff underneath. Dominguez was open on that far side.
There's Dominguez now just inside the free throw line. Off the mark, rebound off to the side.
Yeah, initially, once they were going in, she was kind of clapping her hands because she had a wide open look. They did get it back to her, but it gave Colorado School of Mines that extra second to slide their defense back over and get in position.
And Vandegraff having herself a half as she has 4 buckets here through the first 3.5 minutes.
Mountain Lions trying to push the pace a little bit here, going quickly in transition with Robinson. Got to move that ball around, though.
Yeah, Robinson, a lot of one-on-one dribbling. Gets it out to Faris. Gar back out to Dominguez. Alexa split the defenders, looking for some help. Got it to Mason. 5 on the shot clock. White, the spin move. Shot no good. Gets her own rebound, or at least had it for a second. Van Sickle comes out with it. Quickly up to Howry. Mines kind of worked it around. Their shot, though, off the mark. Faris comes down with it. Now Robinson looking to head the other direction quickly.
Siebert had an open look there, but she was kind of not ready to shoot. Saw that she had some space and kind of rushed the shot a little bit.
And now a kick on Van Sickle, and the ball will stay with the Mountain Lions. Shot clock will reset to 20. Couple of substitutions on both sides as Rios and Nichols check in for Mines, and Zimbardo and Nation are in for the Mountain Lions.
Guys, Zimbardo, who hasn't had a lot of time on the floor for UCCS this year, has gotten a much bigger look in tonight's game and has really taken advantage.
Yeah, she's played 9 minutes in this game alone. She'd only played 21 or so coming into the contest. Nation's shot is short. However, it's going to go off an Ore Digger and out of bounds.
Looks like it was Nichols there that just kind of reached her hand out trying to secure that rebound and punched it out of play. Mountain Lions will get a fresh 20 underneath.
Nillis, drug her pivot foot, yep. Coming off that screen, couldn't stop her momentum quickly enough, and her pivot foot dragged across the floor.
Yeah, one extra step on the breakdown, and that's twice now that we've seen that same kind of play from Nillis. You have to erase those kinds of giveaways if you want to stay up on a team like Colorado School of Mines.
Vandegraff will head to the free throw line as Zimbardo picks up what is potentially her 4th foul. That's exactly what it is. Riley Ottman into the lineup for the first time, replacing Robinson. You see Ottman right there on the left-hand side of your screen, number 20.
And Ottman, who usually eats up about 10 minutes or so per game, especially in the middle frames, comes on here. Energy player for UCCS, can really get around in a hurry.
Vandegraff missed both free throws, and Zimbardo has the rebound.
Nice job there by Zimbardo to track down that rebound. Kind of fumbled it at first, but kept it from going out of bounds.
Nillis, the skip pass. Here's Ottman, her first touch. Nation got between 2 Orediggers up against the third. Her wild shot, however, goes off the side of the backboard, out of bounds. That brings us to the media timeout. Mountain Lions still holding on to a lead, but it is down to single digits at 48-41. Third quarter, 8-4 is the scoring in favor of the Orediggers as they cut a double-digit halftime deficit down to 7.
Good shifting there for UCCS as they go back to a man-to-man defense.
They get it down low to Vandegraff, who kicks it out. 3-ball, no good. Long rebound, however, picked up by Siebert, who missed the shot. She kicked it out. Another long one is off the mark, and then Dominguez rips it away from Van Sickle. Ottman had time by herself, instead tries to drive the lane and is double teamed. Quickly got it to Zimbardo. One more pass. Nation thought about it, didn't take it.
Colorado School of Mines was looking for either a travel or a carry there on Dominguez in transition. Didn't get the whistle.
Oh, great play by the Mountain Lions as Ottman flowed with the traffic and made the pass much easier there for Nillis.
Yeah, and then she toilet bowled it down in there. It probably made 2 full revolutions before it made it in, but that was a really nice setup play and finish from UCCS.
Van Sickle with a 3-ball, and it's good.
Yeah, you could see her kind of take that slide back step and right in our line of sight, perfectly aligned with her hands, and nice shot to finish it out.
Nillis working hard one-on-one, can't get it to fall.
Mountain Lions just kind of have disappeared off the offensive glass, I should say. They're not following their shot, and they're not really contesting for those rebounds when they don't hit.
It was a collision down low, but no foul called, so the Mountain Lions just head the other direction. Here's Ottman.
It was Nichols and Zimbardo that went down, both of them able to get up okay.
Nation got around the defender. That was Nichols, who then had to reach around and foul her. Then Sickle and Rios check back in for Mines. Zimbardo got a little bit of a hick check, it looked like, from Rios, but the officials didn't call it. Mines quickly down the floor. Van Sickle gets it to fall.
Yeah, that one kind of took as much time as it could up on the rim before it decided to go in, but good passing play by Mines to get it quickly up.
Skip pass. Nation. No.
Again, the Mountain Lions just kind of late to the scene underneath the basket on the offensive board, and an easy reel in there for Colorado School of Mines and Van Sickle underneath.
Here's the other Van Sickle with the spin move, has it blocked. Loose ball, jump ball, possession arrow to the Ore Diggers.
Shot clock at 10, so have to hurry just a little bit. Will Mines here.
Van Sickle, no good. Rios lets it go out of bounds, and it'll go back to the Mountain Lions.
Colorado School of Mines looking for a foul there after the shot, as Van Sickle kind of tried to sell it a little bit. You have the argument, if you're UCCS, if this was men's basketball, if you could try and plead your case for a flopping technical there. Obviously, they don't have that in women's yet. That will be implemented this next season, but interesting play that will, a strategy that will go away after this season.
Millis is trapped, kicks it out. Nation with 9 on the shot clock. Jessica working on Rios. Picks up her dribble. Gonna have to put up a shot quickly. Ottman gets into the lane, has it rejected. Howry, pull up, no good.
Nice job by Jessica Nation to come in and be the first to that rebound. Mountain Lions want to take their time. It's not a whole lot, just about 12 seconds or so between the shot clock and game clock here.
Ottman working on Howry. Riley, step through, got the shot up. Good defense though from Howry not to jump.
Yeah.
Mines could hold for the last shot if they choose. They do not. Van Sickle rebounded by the other Van Sickle and kicked out.
Yeah, now they're going to kind of use their time up.
3 ball, no good. Rios was down there. It's going to go out of bounds. And that'll end the quarter. So the Mountain Lions came in up by double figures, but are only able to score 7 points in the third quarter, and their lead has dwindled to 5. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the start of the final 10 minutes. Fourth quarter, just a few seconds away as we take a look at the team comparisons through the first 3 quarters. And in a tight ball game like this, again, just like the men's game last night, a lot of those statistics very, very close. I guess the one thing maybe that does stand out. 3-point percentage. Mines has put up a lot more threes, and they haven't been quite as efficient.
Yeah, and UCLA typically not, or UCLA, excuse me, I was just checking the score. UCCS, typically not the greatest three-point shooting team. The thing that stands out to me, though, is 4 more rebounds for UCCS. We talked about at the beginning of this game, one of the best teams in the country is Colorado School of Mines in that department, and UCCS doing it better here tonight.
Yeah, the Orediggers top 50, and they're actually top 35 in the country in both offensive scoring and the number of points they allow their opponents to score. And the Mountain Lions are almost over the opponent number and are holding the Orediggers currently to about 30 under their typical scoring. So really have to give credit to the Mountain Lions as they have put together a complete game here through the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, and UCCS really putting things together cohesively as a team better than they have in any game yet. We talked about they've been playing good basketball the last couple of weeks. Had a tough night last night as we get a travel call here, but they've rebounded off of that performance from last night, which was kind of a clunker for them. Really nice.
Mountain Lions with a 5-point lead, but they have been scoreless for just over 4 minutes, and they are one of their last 11 from the field. Nation trying to end that, and she does exactly that.
Yeah, that was the only really option that she had. The rest of her lane was cut off when she picked up her dribble, got that nice left-hand roll, and was able to float it right down through. Going to go against Latapia, her second. Just a little bit of extra contact away from the ball there.
Quickly down low to Vandergraaf, working on Inez, and Vandergraaf continues her hot second half. She's got all 10 of her points here in the second. Kick over. Latapia now got around Vandergraaf, but then has it blocked by Van Sickle.
That was a really nice move initially by Inez Latapia. Put the Ordigger on the floor, but a good recovery there by Van Sickle to then jump back into the play.
Van Sickle leads the conference in block shots at about 1.5. That was a 5-second call as the Mayans defense starting to pick up here a little bit as they are down just 5.
Yeah, and if you're UCCS, this is exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to give them any sort of momentum, especially in these dead ball situations, because that really takes the wind out of your sails as a team. So you got to make sure that you keep things going in your direction and not give such easy takeaways back.
Howry around Hovas, and they're going to get Hovas with the foul.
Just a little bit of contact on the last part of the shot there, kind of clipped the side of the shooter's face, and that will be a couple of free throws for Howry.
Howry's been a little quiet offensively over the last quarter and a half. She had a stretch there where she had 8 straight points for the Orediggers as that free throw falls out. Second one is good.
Little bit of forward pressure there, but not sustaining it almost at all as Colorado School of Mines.
And then they're going to get a foul in the backcourt. Who's it going to go against? It's going to go against Howry, her third.
So a little bit of foul trouble now for mine. Stock we haven't seen in a while as she's sitting on 4. Stefik has 3 as well, as now that is the 3rd on Howry.
Bree Robinson's going to come in, replace Jessica Nation.
Again, good inbound defense from Mines. Nearly another 5-second violation on UCCS. Nice pass underneath.
White, the one dribble, and her typical move falls in.
Yeah, and that was a great bounce pass underneath by Dominguez to get it to her, and a good finish as White, who we talked about struggled last night, has really, again, rebounded nicely and has been a big part of this game for UCCS, especially since Hanneborg's been out.
Howry with the nice cut. Couldn't finish the shot, however. Rebound right to Vandegraff.
And Vandegraff's not going to miss unless she's got somebody right in her face, especially underneath. So kind of a crime of opportunity.
3 ball from Hovas is off the mark. Van Sickle into the lane, back out to Vandegraff. Howry.
Mount Lions not switching very well on this trip down. Luckily, they haven't been burned for it quite yet.
Stefik stops and pops. Shot no good. Rebound pushed out, and it will go to the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, Van Sickle had to get caught by her teammates there on the bench as she was chasing it down, but smart play by Hovas and the Mountain Lions to let that one just roll out.
.6:30 to go here in the Gallogly Event Center. UCCS with a 4-point lead over the number 9 team in the country. The Mountain Lions have led the entire game.
If you're UCCS, you want to start to use that shot clock here. They're going to get a foul call against Colorado School of Mines, but you don't want to start your play until there's at least 15 seconds or less on the clock, because once you're up, especially on a team like this in Colorado School of Mines, you have to hold on to that lead any way you can.
That foul was on Sammy Van Sickle. That is her 3rd. Tried to get it. And they're going to get that on Nichols as they tried to lob it over the top to Mason White.
Mason White could have really gone either way. There was contact, but it could have been over the back on Mason as she tried to kind of pull it over. But the Mountain Lions get the whistle.
Nillis. That shot off the mark. Ooh, well.
It's going to go against White.
Yeah, they kind of make up for it, I guess, a little bit on that one. And for Mason, that's her 4th.
So Zimbardo and White now sitting on 4 fouls for UCCS. Forrest with 3. They still do have 2 more fouls to give before the penalty takes place here in the 4th quarter, but you want to make sure that you don't give the Ore Diggers any free opportunities at the line. Just a 4-point game though now, so UCCS has to get a stop somehow, some way.
Oh, great job by Dominguez. Oh, had the steal, but then lost it. And Van Sickle picks it back up, and it's a 2-point game.
And this is where you kind of make or break your reputation as a team. How do you finish in close games?
White got bumped from both sides. Who they going to give it to? They're going to give it to Nichols. For her, that's her 3rd. And Vandegraff will come back in for the Ore Diggers, as will Howry.
Smart play there by Robinson. It was going to be a 5-second violation if she didn't throw it in right then. keeping the count in her own head, and she gets a fresh chance for UCCS without taking any time off the shot clock.
Ordigger's doing a great job switching on all that movement by the Mountain Lions, and both players hit the deck. I'm not quite sure how you don't call something on somebody, and now they get a jump ball out by the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that's the basketball version of offsetting penalties, because they were kind of tangled up. There was all sorts of contact, but like you said, can't imagine how there's no foul in that situation at all. Mountain Lions wanted the 5-second violation call that time around. Good job sticking with her by Dominguez there. She's guarding Van Sickle.
Van Sickle works all the way around, missed the first one, split back is good, and we are tied for the first time since it was 0-0.
Mountain Lions need to get something to fall in. They've been scoreless in almost 3 minutes now. Credit to the Ordigger defense, though. They've really stepped up.
Robinson to the rim, and Bree gives UCCS the lead back. Good job by Mason to step up, and then a great block out by Nillis.
That's going to be a jump ball. It'll stay with UCCS, but a timeout.
That brings us to the final media timeout of the game. Mountain Lions clinging to a 2-point lead. So a jump ball just before that media timeout gives the Mountain Lions possession. Bree Robinson brings it up for UCCS. She just gave the Mountain Lions the lead on the last possession as she did almost this exact same play. Back-to-back takes there from Bree Robinson.
They're really opening up that left wing for her on that side of the lane, and she's just taking it right down through. If you're not going to use the shot clock, you got to be sure that you're going to score, and that's exactly what Robinson does. Now the Mountain Lions have to get the stand on the other side.
Feed down low, Vandegraff double team, lost the ball. Nillis pushing it, she can have numbers. Got Van Sickle off her feet and then finishes Sydney Nillis, and the Mountain Lions are up by 6. And Colorado School of Mines calls a 30-second timeout. So we'll stay right here. Jake, UCCS doing a great job. Colorado School of Mines climbed all the way back, tied it up, but the last 3 possessions have been all Mountain Lions.
Well, and when you look at the records of these two teams coming in, if you're UCCS, it's easy for you to be kind of on your heels once they push back like this, but it speaks volumes to the UCCS core that it's such a good team. I mean, they're 9-1. The Ordiggers are coming in in the conference, and UCCS just is standing their ground and not letting them come back on their home court.
If the Mountain Lions are able to hold on, this would probably have to be one of the biggest victories in program history. Now, they've had some big wins. The Mountain Lions, through the mid-teen years, 14, 15, 16, 17, were ranked nationally, beat ranked opponents, but those Mountain Lion teams had big-time winning records, So for this program could be a game that hopefully turns things around, because it shows this is the best team in the conference, and you are up with 3 minutes to go.
And not only that, but you've been up the entire game. It's one thing if you get up big early, and then we see that all the time where a good team goes down early, but they're able to fight their way back. But UCCS went up early, big, giant run, as Hannahborg was a big part of that, and then they have sustained that play throughout this game and has maintained that lead. I mean, Colorado School of Mines was able to tie it, and UCCS back up to a 6-point lead.
Back down low to Vandegraff, and she gets the nice touch.
You got to just keep the pressure on for UCCS. You got that lead back up, but you have to maintain it again. So if you give up points on one end, shake it off, no big deal. You're not going to stop every time, but you got to get points on the other end to respond.
Hovas to Dominguez, fadeaway, short. Van Sickle with the rebound. Quickly out to Howry, and Howry so quick, all the way down, will head to the free throw line.
That's going to go against Nillis. That's just her first for a Mount Lion team that has gotten into a little bit of foul trouble. 2 players with 4, just the first for Nillis, and I would argue kind of a necessary one on that play.
And Nillis, a team high 32 minutes played, 12 points. So Sydney's really put together a nice game so far, as the first one for Howry falls in. Second one is also good.
Back down to a 2-point game. It's all about how you respond to the pressure. Colorado School of Mines down to a team that's been struggling this season. Hasn't responded very well in this game up until now. How does UCCS respond to keep the pressure on?
Dominguez guarded by Van Sickle. Hovas back over to Dominguez. In the lane, tried to get around Van Sickle. Oh, wow. Alexa Dominguez, the scoop over the 6'2" Van Sickle.
Yeah, outstretched on her pivot foot too. She had to use every inch of her frame, and down low scooped it with the right hand hook and got it to fall in.
And down low, and Mason White just fouled out. Yeah, that is the 5th on Mason White. She was battling hard down low with Vandegraff.
They're going to have to switch her out before the free throws.
He gets a minute or something to make the call, so it seems like Lynn Plett is doing exactly that, taking all of his allotted time. And he's going to send in Zimbardo, who also has 4 fouls.
Yeah, you got to get that size down deep, especially against Colorado School of Mines. That's a big loss for UCCS, though. Lots of points up front for the Mountain Lions, as she is their leading scorer, but a big presence on defense, too.
Megan Vandegraff missed the first one. She's put together a really good second half. The second leading scorer on the team had 0 points at the break, and she now has 15 after. Nillis again into the lane, got around Howry, who has a block. Right back to Sydney. Zimbardo looking for some help. Lost the dribble, picked it back up. Kick it out, she does, to Robinson. 8 on the shot clock. Bree into the lane. Robinson floater. Oh! Hit every part of the rim and fell out.
Under 90 seconds now.
Stefik hands it off to Vandegraff, and it's a 1-point game.
UCCS got to slow things down there. They tried to go quickly, didn't work out too well for them. You have to find a good shot here. It's crunch time.
Dominguez going right at Van Sickle, looking for a cutter. Got it to Robinson. Robinson, the floater, that's no good. And Sammy Van Sickle is going to bring it out and push it. Cowrie for the lead. No good. Weak side. It'll stay with the Diggers.
Under a minute to go, 49.9. This is huge time for both of these teams. Colorado School of Mines hasn't had the full lead this entire game. And they're going to review this and make sure that they have the right call. I think they did.
So the officials will take a look at the replay and make sure that they got the right call. It went off of the right player as the Mountain Lions continue to cling to a 1-point lead with under 50 seconds to go. So you take a look at that last play. Here's the shot. And it almost looks like Stefik came in and because Nillis did have it, but it almost looks like Stefik came in and pushed it out of her hands. You wonder what the decision they made. It looks like they say it's going to stay with Colorado School of Mines.
Yeah, I think it was Nillis that kind of flicked it out. It did look from that angle, though, that it could have gone either way. I think that's why they wanted to look back. From our angle, I would agree that it looked like it was Nillis originally, and they stick with the call.
All right, the Orediggers with 20 on the shot clock, under 50 to go in the game. Mountain Lions leading by 1. And Howry Trugger pivot foot again, and another turnover.
Looks like a timeout's going to be taken here for Colorado School of Mines. Just the 30.
So they have 1 timeout left. The Mountain Lions still have 4. So I believe that's the first coach's called timeout, though. So is that?
No, there was.
Was there one earlier on?
Earlier on,
right.
Just a little bit, right before the start of the quarter. So, with what seems like ages ago at this point, but yeah, this is a great timeout call for Colorado School of Mines as a big moment inside of this game. They have to draw something up, get a stop here, but it also gives the Mountain Lions the same chance of see what they want to run and make sure they have the right players on the floor to do it.
So for UCCS, it'll be Hovas, Zimbardo, Robinson, Nillis, and Dominguez. For Colorado School of Mines, it will be Howry, Vandegraff, both Van Sickles, and Stefik. And it should be UCCS ball underneath the basket. Yeah, they called the travel on Howry on the previous play. And now one of the officials talking to the 4th official at the table because they called the travel on Howry and then called the timeout after.
So they're saying that they called the timeout before the travel. So it will stay with Colorado School of Mines, 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Quickly into Van Sickle, works around, and that is the first lead of the game for Colorado School of Mines. And I imagine we are going to have a call to the league office on this one because the travel was called and then the timeout was called by Colorado School of Mines. So why the Orediggers had the ball on that possession, I do not know. So I have a feeling we are going to have an argument coming from UCCS on that play because that was not how the events took place. As the Mountain Lions call a timeout.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. I don't think I've ever seen that before. There was a second of discussion before they went off for the timeout. I guess that's what it was for. The Mountain Lions are going to advance the ball here to the far side. So there is 3.8 seconds in between the game clock and shot clock. So if UCCS can use their time and get a basket, it's going to put Colorado School of Mines in a tough spot. But that was a big call inside of this game, and another timeout for UCCS.
And just another 30-second timeout call. So Mountain Lions going to make sure that they have the exact play drawn up that they want. So the Colorado School of Mines has never led until 33.8 seconds left in the game, up by 1, 64-63. Mountain Lions have a full shot clock to play with. We'll see what Lynn Plett draws up.
Mountain Lions have struggled to inbound the ball effectively. They're going to put Hovas in the backcourt by herself.
And they get it in to Faris in the front court, works around Vandegraff. A goal, Ferris! One! And Ferris with an opportunity to push it out to 2 as she'll head to the free throw line.
And this is a giant free throw. If she hits it, it's a 2-point lead for UCCS. Colorado School of Mines will have to hit a 3 to take the lead. They can still get a 2 and tie it, but there's only 0.3 between the game clock and the shot clock. So if they hit this and Colorado School of Mines milks the clock, they have to go for the 3.
The foul went on Vandegraff, her third, and a lane violation on Colorado School of Mines. Yep. So Faris will get another one.
She missed that one. Faris, a really good free throw shooter, 85.7.
Second one is good. So Faris makes them pay, and Colorado School of Mines takes their final timeout. It's a full timeout. We'll do the same when we come back. We'll have the final 29.7. So the Mountain Lions, the biggest 29.5 seconds of their season, as they could really use a stop. Agar Ferris did give them a 2-point lead with the second free throw attempt. But if they could come up with a stop here, that would be huge, because you do not want to have to heave up a shot of your own with just a few ticks left on the clock to try and win it.
Well, in an interesting situation, too, the lane violation killed about half a second of clock. So now there's less than 30 seconds remaining. The shot clock will go off once the next whistle happens. So either Colorado School of Mines holds it and goes for a 3 to try and win it, or they go for the 2 and try and tie to push it to overtime.
Siebert dribbling out near midcourt. Now she works her way towards the three-point arc. Over to Van Sickle. Over to Stefik, the 3. In and out. Loose ball. Dominguez has it down low. And Alexa will go and shoot a couple of free throws.
5 seconds even on the clock, but big free throws here for UCCS. It's going to have to be a quick play for Colorado School of Mines either way. But Dominguez has to hit. If she hits both, it's a two-possession game, and that essentially is the coffin for Colorado School of Mines.
And for Mines, they had the shot they want. Your leading scorer with a wide open three-pointer, and she just missed it out of the hands of Ashley Stefik. So now Alexa Dominguez missed the first one.
So the best she can do is force Mines to a best case scenario of a tie.
Second one. Oh, all right. So a three-point lead, 5 seconds to go. The Ore Diggers get it in quickly. Shot up to tie it. No good, and the Mountain Lions pull off a monumental upset, taking down the number 9 ranked team in the country by a final of 67-64. Jake, what a great one.
Oh, well, and if you told me that this was going to go down tonight, I would have been like, hey, man, it'd be awesome, but it is very unlikely. All the credit to UCCS. They came out firing in the first quarter. They outscored Colorado School of Mines 27-13. They didn't look back. They made it interesting at the end, 33.8. Colorado School of Mines gets their first lead of the game, but once the bell was needed to be answered, UCCS was there, made the big shots, got the big free throws, and made the stops on defense.
So the Mountain Lions with a big, big victory to start off this doubleheader, as the victory improves them to 6-11 on the year. As we take a look at a handful of the highlights. Jake, you want to run us through some of the overall team stats?
Well, you have to give it to Gracie Hanneborg. She went down right before halftime, but still left her mark on this game, was a leading scorer for UCCS with 14 points. Vandegraff really came alive in the second half for Colorado School of Mines. She had 17. Most of those points, if not all of them, were after the halftime break, and that's what really helped Colorado School of Mines climb back into this one. But Agar Faris with that free throw, I really think is the thing that put it out of reach for Colorado School of Mines. A big moment, and you got to give the credit to Agar.
9 Mountain Lions scored, led by the 14 of Hanneborg, as they shot 44% as a team. And they pull off a big one. That was a really great way to start this doubleheader, as the men will get ready to go at it. Let's see if the Mountain Lion men can repeat this feat, as they too have a top 10 matchup against the Colorado School of Mines. That one will start in about 20 minutes, so make sure to go get some water, because I imagine we're all salivating a little bit for the matchup that's about to take place. So
take a deep breath too.
Take a deep breath as well. Yes, indeed. So that'll do it for the women's game. We'll be back in about 20 minutes for the start of the men's. See you then.